Olive was in a dark cave and could hear dripping water.
Hello?
Called Olive, and her voice echoed into the darkness.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
What a funny echo.
I'm not an echo, I'm a bat. And I'm a bat too.
Olive looked to either side and could make out two little bats next to her.
We are the bats in hats.
Oh, do you mind me asking why you're called bats in hats when you're not wearing any hats?
Well, it's because we hang upside down and our hats keep falling off.
Upside down?
Olive suddenly realised that up was down and down was up. And she was in fact hanging from the top of a cave.
Oh dear, ostriches can't hang upside down.
Olive fell and landed with a plop in a big pile of hats. She stood up and straightened her feathers.
Oh, look at all these hats. One of them must be able to stay on.
No, they just keep falling off, Olive.
Well, let's give it a try, shall we?
Olive started picking up hats and popping them on the bats' heads, one after another. But they just kept falling off. She tried on woolly hats, top hats, cowboy hats, all types of hats. But they all fell off.
We told you, Olive. These hats just won't stay on.
Olive looked at the big pile of hats that they had just tried on and noticed that a thread of wool on one of the bobble hats was loose.
Bats that need hats, a loose thread. I think I may have an idea.
Olive pulled on the thread and got herself two nice long pieces. Then she took two of her favourite hats, held them on the bats' heads and used the thread to make little chin straps to hold them in place.
Perfect. Now you bats are in hats.
What? Oh dear. Now we're wearing hats. They're too heavy, Olive. We can't hold on with our feet.
The bats tried and tried to cling onto the ceiling, but the hats were indeed just too heavy, and they fell down into the pile of hats.
Are you both okay?
Asked Olive.
Yes, we're fine. But we will never be proper bats in hats.
Olive looked around the cave again and noticed some spiky rocks poking up from the ground and the hats with threads hanging from them.
Don't panic. I'm having another idea.
Olive picked up the two hats and tied either end to a tall, pointy rock, so the hats were hanging in the middle.
Now, if you fly up and cling to the ceiling, the hat should sit on your heads.
We'll give it a go.
So the bats flew up, clung to the ceiling and kept trying to stretch down to put their heads into the hats. But they were just too far away. Eventually they gave up, flopping down, exhausted, into the hats.
Oh dear, nothing I've tried seems to have worked.
Actually, Olive, these hats are really comfy. Yes, so warm.
The hat strung between the rocks was so comfortable and the little bats were so worn out from all the excitement, they started drifting off to sleep.
Looks like you bats are finally in hats.
Thanks, Olive. We're going to have a nice long nap now.
Sweet dreams. Maybe from now on you should be called the bats in hats that take naps.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Peck? Actually, I helped some bats with their hats.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the ostrich!
Olive was standing in front of a clock tower that was next to a big old building. Nearby stood some people, all holding cameras and muttering.
Hello, I'm Olive. Is there something wrong?
She asked.
You betcha, Olive.
Said one of the group.
We've all been waiting for Big Ben here to chime at midday, but the clocks have stopped.
It sounds like something's gone wrong.
Sure has.
Don't worry, I'll go and investigate.
Olive opened a door at the bottom of the tower and climbed some stairs right to the top. She found herself in a huge room with a back-to-front clock face on each wall. The room was full of cogs, wheels, levers and pulleys, and at the top hung a giant bell.
Oh, bother.
Olive spied a spiky hedgehog poking at the cogs with a screwdriver.
Hello, I'm Olive. Can I help?
Hello, I'm Little Ben, keeper of the great clock.
Oh, does that mean you look after Big Ben?
Big Ben isn't the clock or the tower. It's the name of the big bell up there. Everyone gets that wrong.
Oh, sorry. Well, I've learned something there. So why's the clock stopped?
Oh, I just don't know. It's a mystery.
Then Olive heard something. It was the sound of tweeting.
A clock that stopped working. Some tweeting sounds. I think I may have an idea. Little Ben, is there some way to see outside?
Yes, there's a small window at the top of the clock.
Olive climbed a ladder, which led to the window. She opened it and peered out. There was a nest on a ledge just above the minute hand of the clock, and it was full of tweeting baby storks.
Oh, the stork's nest has jammed the clock hand.
Oh, the clocks are all connected, you see. If one stops, they all stop.
I need to move the nest to a safer place.
Well, you'd better use this harness if you're going outside.
Olive carefully climbed out of the window onto the clock face.
Oh, it's a bit high.
You're quite safe, Olive.
Olive shimmied down the hour hand, then edged along the minute hand towards the nest. The crowd, watching below, gasped. Olive grabbed the nest with the baby storks. She climbed back towards the window carrying the nest, but as she reached the window, one of the baby storks fell out of the nest. The baby stork was falling towards the ground when suddenly out of the sky swooped the mummy stork, who caught the baby, hurry back. Olive climbed in through the window with the nest, and the mummy stork flew in after her.
Oh, well done, Olive. The clocks are working again.
But the mummy stork was not pleased.
Sorry. Maybe a nest can go somewhere else.
I think I have the perfect place.
Little Ben placed the nest near the window and left it open so the mummy stork could fly in and out. All the storks seemed very happy. Olive helped little Ben reset the clocks just in time for Big Ben's midday bongs.
Thanks for all your help, Olive.
Gig, those are really loud. Think it's time I clocked off for the day.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Gig, actually, I helped Big Ben go bong.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.